So until you learn to lead yourself, you're not going to be a very good leader of others. And that's really been one of the biggest things I've learned in the last few years. I'm Lindsey Falk, president of LR Falk Construction Company and owner of the Enterprise Journal. In our area right now, we need entrepreneurs, not to have something brand new, but to be our plumbers, our electricians, our quarry people, newspaper owners. I think entrepreneur can be just taking an old idea and refreshing it or bringing new energy to it. So I think I always thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. For a lot of years, that was not having anything to do with family business. I had a lot of different ideas of things I wanted to do and thought maybe I could do. And I realized after doing some of those things that being an entrepreneur doesn't necessarily mean you're an inventor. It could be to come back and take over an established family business that maybe I have some different ideas to change it or take it to the next level. I think LR Falk Construction is different from our competition in the fact that we've always invested in ourselves, diversified. A lot of our competition either just makes rock and sand or just hauls or just spreads ag lime. And I think we've always thought, we're not good enough. We can always be better. What else can we be doing? I think some of the biggest aspects of running a profitable business are being willing to change, being willing to admit you're wrong, be willing to admit that you can be better, and listening. Whether it's automating our plants or keeping up with the latest technology with our farmers. And I think the other thing is training our people, not only in how to run equipment, but how to treat each other, how to be leaders. We really want to invest in them as much as our equipment because I think they feel like they have ownership in the company. I think the biggest word to describe how our customers view us is as a true partner. And I think that's really important, that we're not just somebody that they want to buy material from or perform services. We want to make sure that we're both coming out better because we're partners. And that's really important for us because if we know what they need, that helps us provide what they need. And if there's a problem, it's both of our problem. And if there's successes, it's both of our successes. So a lot of the stories I've heard about my grandpa didn't really revolve around the quarry. It was more around the community and the things he did outside of work. Whether he was mayor of St. Ansgar, fire department, been involved in the church and the school. My father had those same desires to be involved in the community and understood that it was important to be community active, to try and be a leader in the community. So I took those things to heart and served in a lot of different places, school board, fire department, economic development, a lot of things that I think are important to keep the community going because not only is it important for our businesses, it's important for our family. A few years ago, a friend of mine, Steve Pope, who owned the Enterprise Journal at the time, had been talking to me about taking over. And it excited me a little bit, but I had plenty of other things to do, so I didn't really take it more than just conversation. He got diagnosed with some pretty serious health issues, and the time came to either step up or let it go non-local, and that was never an option. So we feel that a community paper is important, and that's one thing that I've really enjoyed about having the newspaper is in our company, LR Falk Construction, we sell rock all over the Midwest. And a lot of our customers, maybe I'll see once a year, maybe I've never even met, where when you own the newspaper, you're dealing with everybody on a weekly basis, for better or for worse. And it's really felt that we've got a better pulse in the community, and we're doing something that's really important that we feel that a town like St. Ansgar and Osage and Riceville still need. So after purchasing the newspaper, realized real early that it was a lot different sort of business than a rock quarry. And the challenges right away were really how do you survive, let alone thrive, in an industry where people are saying that it's dying. So in this business, it's not so much how to be profitable as how to be relevant, how to be a source for the community if that's what we want to do. So throughout my career at LR Falk Construction, I've had a lot of great support from obviously my mom and dad, my wife, other people in the industry. It's a really great industry that even though we have competition, we're all still kind of partners. And we're lucky that we have that. We have association meetings and conventions we can call and ask people for advice. With St. Stone, we had a lot of great support from NIACC, the Papajohn Center, the SBCD, to get us going, to get us in the right direction. That's been great. And with the newspaper, there's just been a ton of support from the community. And it was cool when we went from just the St. Ansgar paper to the county paper, how much we were embraced by Osage and Riceville, which is normally competition from the schools, to see that we're really all working together. So I would recommend taking full advantage of the Papajohn Center and the SBCD over in Mesa City. What I learned from not only the startup factory with St. Stone, in that situation, I thought St. Stone was going to be one thing, and halfway through the startup program, we realized it was going to be something different. We got a lot of great contacts, really told us the things that I thought I would know by having run a company that's been around for 100 years, and really realizing that there's a lot of things that there's other people that know more about. So to use that advantage, use those networks. And then we did a little bit of work with the newspaper with our previous team. Some of the stuff from the startup carried over, but just to have a business plan. And looking forward, I think we're going to do some more work with the Papajohn Center to really get focused. I think that's the big thing, is an idea needs focus. And that's where I think the Papajohn Center and the SBCD come into play. I think some key words for a new entrepreneur would be to be confident, be aggressive, don't be scared, but also make sure you do your homework and make sure you're not just jumping into something that is bound to fail. Use people, use partners to be successful. Talk to people that you trust to see if it's a good idea. Find outside help if you can, but have a good plan when you go into doing something, and once you go, you got to go all in.